Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this Saturday show, HoDiGa. But today you will see we have a special guest with us, Dr. Lena Rodriguez, and of course the fabulous Lady G. So in a way, we could be HoGaLe today.
Yes, we could.
HoGaLe. Because we take the
It's like
first two letters
Houdini or
of the
something.
name and put them on, or HoGaLe.
HoGaLe works. It sounds like something that does actually exist.
Right, exactly. So we're going to be we're going to be blowing through your screens today with hopefully a very entertaining show. And just to start straight off, many of you are asking, and we were concerned as well, about Diane. How is she doing? Diane has got in touch with us. She is okay. She has put information on her community page. You can actually read it there, but she's home now and she's recovering and she's been in touch. I know we were all worried. I mean, I know everyone knows I was worried. Like behind the scenes, guys, I was doing a lot of scrabbling around, but but she is okay and she'll be recovering. And so, of course, we wish her love and light and prayers and stuff for a speedy and rejuvenated recovery. But as they say, the show must go on. And as we can see today, we have Dr. Lena Rodriguez in. So expect a bit of extra spice today. And Lady G brings her own special spice as well. So
absolutely.
And what I've just found out is this is actually the first collaboration between Lady G and Lena. So
well done.
Indeed. So we really look forward to that. So, of course, I'm coming to you 11 p.m. London time. Lady G, what time is it in your part of America?
It's 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
4 p.m. And Lena, of course, is in the future, 10 a.m.
Sunday morning.
So look at that. There's this show.
That's not bad. 4 and 10. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And we span the globe. Something for everyone.
Oh, look, someone's come in. Hello.
Back down, baby.
So, as usual, the ladies do not know what questions I'm going to ask them today. So it's all cold reads. And you know what? Really and truly, I actually prefer the cold reads, because sometimes when you read on something like, I remember we were asked the question, I had no clue what it was about, blah, 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 just did a cold read. And then in the comments, someone was like, you were absolutely bang on with that thing. So I love a bit of that. So it's really good fun. And just before we kick off the show, let's see who's joining us. You're rapidly coming in, folks. Oh, gosh, look, so many here. So we've got
Snowwolf. What a wonderful name. Hi, Snowwolf.
Oh, Snowwolf, wonderful. We've got Catherine Rodriguez. Oh, there's another Rodriguez. Do you have a sister?
My cousin.
Hello, cousin. Hello. We've got La Quadruple
Voices from the Swamp. Oh, fantastic.
Who else do we have here? We've got Flora K. We've got the Red Hat Cat. These names are fabulous. Jenny W. 171 signs and many more. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. And you know what? I'm so sorry. Sometimes the American audience gets a little bit confused when I get stuck in. I can say dive in. We're not getting stuck. It just means let's proceed.
Let's go.
Let's proceed.
I sent an email to someone recently going, how are you traveling? And Americans don't use that expression. She thought I meant moving around. No, we just mean, how are you going? How are you traveling?
You see these things, international programs. So I thought I would start off with, now this question is a bit older in a sense, because I saw it earlier on in the week, and as you know, it's been chock-a-block. And I think we will have a question towards the sort of maybe more the middle of the show, talking about tornadoes and stuff, because we know what has just happened with Kentucky and all that. So I think we should have another environmental question. So that will come later on. So this in a way might seem a little bit like old news, but worth checking in on. And of course, as you know, MSNBC, they really go with the political stuff. And we have our Rachel Maddow is there. And she's been talking about Trump's next coup attempt. Yeah. What do you
Mm.
think about that? We've just had a donation come in as well. Who's that?
Oh, that's
you.
very kind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So in a way, let me try and contextualize it. This is, as we know, there was January 6th, and since then there has been this churning, creeping, crawling, all sorts of stuff kind of going on. Something kind of that's kind of come out of the dark bog of the abyss. And, you know what I mean? And of course, as we know, the 2022 midterms are coming up, and people are saying the fortunes are changing. So I just thought, because it's been a while, let's get stuck in. And and my question is, will this be coup attempt part 2?
Let's have a look.
By the, as you know, Duck L'Orange, or the Yeti, as Lena would say. So will this be?
Will there be a second coup?
Will there be a second coup attempt? Or really, is it underway, really, already? That's what I would argue in terms of that question, but we'll have to see. And let's just see what's going on in the car. Aha. What's this? People saying hello to us, which is lovely. All right. Second coup. It's got the card spread. Second coup. Situation. Second coup. Coup. Second coup. Let's see. All right, I've pulled 5. So we could do it in screen order. So maybe I go first, then Lady G.
Yeah, sure.
And then yourself, Lena. All right, let's flip over my cards here. Ooh. Oh, wow. Do you know what? This is so typical. Whenever I read on Trumpy stuff, I always get reverse cards. So out of the 5 cards I pulled, all 5 are reversed.
No.
Yeah.
What are the chances?
You saw me shuffling. So, okay. So the question is, will this be coup attempt number 2? And with the cards reversed, I mean, all of them reversed, that would imply a no. But if that is a no, why? So if we look here, but I'm not so sure. I just think for me, it's like the whole situation stinks. That's one of the ways that I interpret it. Here we are. We see this is often the card for the virus. So here we go. So, the virus, of course, has done an awful lot of stuff to an awful lot of people. And let's just say maybe those that would be natural supporters of another insurrection may have a bit of COVID fatigue. Do you remember when there was that big hoo-ha in August, where everyone was like, oh, they're all going to come back, and it ended up being a bit of a wah, wah, wah. It could just be that there might be so many things going on in regards to the repercussions of the virus that in terms of the troops on the feet, on the ground, so to speak, there may not be enough trollocs around to actually kind of get the job done in terms of January 6th style. That's what I would argue. So I'm not sure if there's much mileage for that physical, insurrection thing. Here, the obstacle card is the card of charity. So we know, it's not, it can be charity, but this is money changing hands. And of course, when it's reversed, that can be a darker interpretation of that. So of course, we know already what is coming out in terms of the January 6th commission. There's a lot of suggestion of collusion, isn't there? This is also one of the cards for collusion. And when I look here, we've got the Queen of Wands, and when the Queen of Wands is the right way up, of course, this is a dynamic, energetic, entrepreneurial woman who's a social butterfly, an extrovert. But here, this can be someone who is into sabotage, Yeah, wanting to destroy something so no one else can have it. And I'm wondering, isn't it interesting that certain ladies have come to prominence in regards, and we've been talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Bobart. Yeah, maybe they were going around doing their tours and all of that kind of stuff. If we see here, it looks like this. Look, is the party over? Yeah, if we just straight as it is. Yeah, is the party over? This can also mean being getting tired of stuff. This card is like when you want the party to end and you start opening up the windows and the doors to let in a bit of cold air. So this also could suggest that maybe there are some people in the GOP who are actually getting really tired of this. Yeah. Apparently they've been whispering in sort of what's her name's ear, the Liz Cheney's ear, saying keep going, but we can't publicly support you.
Yes.
You see what I mean? So there's a bit of hypocrisy going on, but still there is an attempt to obscure the light. This can also mean like the outcome can be a bit mediocre. So there will be I think it's going to be mixed fortunes. You know how we know that the GOP are trying very hard to recalculate everything, but I don't think it's going to have quite the result that they expect. But I don't think it's an absolute shoo-in for the Democrats either. I think it's going to be very complicated. Anyway, Lady G, what do you have?
Well, the center of it, I have the phases. You know, we have the different phases of the moon. And with that, we have the path. Which way are they going to go going forward? We have an upward climb with it. Underneath of it, we have the seasons. These things are playing out in order. Above it, we have, people are talking. We have ones coming forward because of the January 6th thing, and they're going to start anteing up information. Okay. The challenge is the payoff, like you had also.
Same card as me.
Yeah. So they're looking at going forward, the strength. What strength do they have? But underneath of it, we have their shadow side, trying to pump it up, keep it going. We have the ones like Bobart, and those so lovely women over there. The female card as well. Yeah, the trumpeters out there. But we have karma coming up that's going to kind of put a quash on it. Because the January 6th, it's going to start coming out that there are going to be consequences. And so they're not going to be so easily rushing into it and thinking they've got such a strong position because there's nobody there to bail them out any longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
How interesting that you've got the cup, 6 of Pentacles as well. What do you think, Lena?
Oh, well, I just want to say hello to Charles on the chat, who had a nap specially so he'd be on board for this, and then he overslept. Charles, we're only on our first question, so you haven't missed anything.
Plenty of show to go, don't worry.
Now, I'm using the Russian deck, and this card is about all the things in the pot. This is what they're still thinking about, still planning how to, get this all going forward for Coup 2.0. There is some meeting behind the scenes about this. But if you can see here, the meeting's not especially well attended.
A little sparse.
And this is somebody trying to whip up the others going, we could do this, we could do it. But there will be leaks. So in other words, I think whether it's paramilitary groups or bent politicians or whatever, they're going to have their little pockets of trying to do this. But each of them will have a major problem with leaks right from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
So in other words, the FBI will have no excuse because so many of us knew about not predicting the scale of January 6th, but that there would be an aggravated, violent presence, and yet
Absolutely.
the FBI missed it. You know, like, no.
Oh.
So there'll be leaks from the beginning each and every time any of these people meet. So this will lead to them not knowing what they're going to do when. This is the Russian equivalent of the hangman.
What is that, Lena?
It's such an extraordinary card, isn't it?
I mean,
I often get this.
Let it all
from
hang
Yeti.
out.
I know. I love it. That's why I love this deck. Things are not looking rosy, you would have to say.
I'm just like, that's a lot of ventilation going on. Let's just say that. There's a lot of ventilation going on.
I love this deck, truly. You'd never use it for normal people in a normal reading. I mean, you really wouldn't, but there you go. And their future, this was the outcome of any second coup attempt. Not looking good, you'd have to say. So people, I know these cards are amazing, aren't they?
Wow.
So it's isolated and the waves crashing, you know, and basically stuck, absolutely stuck with all their gobbledygook that they'll be whipping up. They will be trying to foment trouble.
Yeah, they'll be trying their best. Oh wow, so interesting. Well, Catherine Rodier, thank you so much for your donation. I mean, this thing, just as a part of a wider discussion, I mean, what I find extraordinary, and I'm sure it's the same for you, Lena, and any sane American or anyone else around the world, which is that this is all happening almost like with that card you just showed, the penultimate one, nakedly in plain sight.
Yes. It's unveiled. It's just there. This is what we're doing.
Yeah. And I'm just, for me, there is a lot of frustration. I'm glad we've got the commission, but this isn't even Cluedo. It's not someone turning up, dead in the library type thing. It's like the dead body is on the main street. You can see the blood. Everyone's covered in blood. They've all got weapons. They've all had a go. Yes. And they're like, what's going on?
That's like Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz was on Bannon's show and said, we're going to take over, the FBI, and we're going to take over the Justice Department, and we're going to,
Wow. Really? I mean, that should just be, just put someone behind bars immediately. But
look, exactly. And I'm worried that all these charges and things are just too lightweight to really cut through to these people.
Yeah, it needs to be hefty. It needs to be proportionate to
what they are trying to do, which is overthrow democracy in the United States. Please.
I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it? It's extraordinary that they're even still drawing breath and not behind bars. Do you know what I mean?
And Bannon's trials July next year.
Is it?
And until then, he's given them the one finger salute,
Absolutely, over and over.
July next year.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. July. Wow. Well, thank you, Christopher Guala, for your donation. And anyway, this will rumble on. I'm sure we'll be reading much more about this in the future. Anything else you wish to contribute to that, ladies, before we move on to the next question? No,
let's rock along. I'm sure we've got a lot to cover.
Yeah. All right, so let's look at another Yeti, while we're at it. Mini Yeti. And this one's called Boris Johnson.
Yeti 2, I call him.
Yes. Now, so for just in case, because some people once upon a time in the comments said, even if the person seems very famous, there's always someone who may not know who that person is. So Boris Johnson is the wild-haired kind of afterbirth of the Yeti number one, and he is the British Prime Minister, well known for chalking up a career of lies, etc., and stuff like that. Now, I think it was 3 weeks ago on HoDiGa when Diane was here, we were pulling on Boris, and we got the Tower card. I said, look, he's going to be coming in for a Tower moment, and it has well and truly arrived.
Yes.
It really has. And what the scandal is, one of them is called Wallpaper Gate. Yeah. Calling Wallpaper Gate. And that is because a certain Mr. Johnson got his Houses of Parliament, not his Parliament, number
His
10
private residence.
Completely renovated, yeah, top to bottom by a Tory donor, and it wasn't declared, even though the kind of commission, which is like this anti-corruption commission, was saying to him, are you absolutely sure that this is your own money? Yeah, because he said, no, it's fine. I used my own money, and it kind of went away. He was also asking Tory donors to contribute to his baby mother payments. Do you know that? Well,
no.
So now, Boris Johnson may not be particularly very competent, but he's very fertile. So don't stand there too long.
Crops growing everywhere.
Absolutely, lots of children around. So there's that. But the big scandal is that while everyone in the UK and much of the world was locked down in November and December last year, Boris Johnson and his team were having parties. Yes. And there was even a rehearsal where they were saying, how to basically bandooly the public or the media if they were asked questions about parties, and they were laughing and joking, and this was leaked, and it has gone down like a cold cup of sick, as we would say in the UK. And there are crucial votes coming up, and there's a by-election all happening next week. If he wins those, he may hold on, but if he loses more support, then it could be. So I just wanted to read on that. So will Boris be forced to step down is the question.
Okay, let's have a look.
Forced to step down. So I got a tower for him a few weeks ago, which of course has now come true.
One of my favorite stories is Boris's father has actually handed in his UK citizenship, and he's gone to live in France with his son as the Prime Minister, because his family are appalled at how hypocritical, deceptive and stupid he is.
Yeah. He really is just, it's beyond the pale. Yeah, his father has basically, taken back up his French citizenship. So, that should tell you something, shouldn't it? Like you said, if your son's the Prime Minister and you're like, I'm done with this.
I'm not even staying in the country.
Exactly, I'm not even staying in the country.
Stupid and chaotic he is.
Exactly, and he's not even going to stay British. So, wow. No. Remarkable. All right, so let's do the same order again, and let's see. Oh, look at this. All right, I'm gonna. The cards have become very clear. So we were just talking about Boris's silliness. Yeah, look at this. My first card, quite literally, the Fool. No further interpretation needed. This can be just taken verbatim, straight up. Boris, of course, has been immensely foolish, reckless even in his premiership and with some of the decisions that he's made, but particularly this party thing is just not been good. Even he survives. It is a stain upon his premiership that cannot be scrubbed out. Yeah. What's the obstacle? His sense of security is disrupted. Yeah. And what was one of the things about parties at his house? Isn't it interesting? Yeah, because this is also known as what? The card of celebration. You can literally see they're celebrating a party, a milestone crossed, etc. But what was happening in other people's homes? Yeah, it was COVID, a lot of people being lost. So we can see here the party or the sense of security or this sense of celebration has come as the obstacle for him. Couldn't be more clear, isn't it? So now he's feeling terrible. Yeah, he's like, oh my goodness. So he is now under the swords, so to speak. He's been beaten back on this. He was in PMQ's, Prime Minister's Questions, and got such slap face. And even his backbenchers were kind of like, yeah, they really weren't pleased. So if he, there's a vote coming on if we're going to have certain more restrictions in the UK. If that doesn't pass, he's in trouble. But also as well, if he loses the by-election, it will be worse. Yeah. So if we look here, I think Boris, like this card when it's reversed, normally it's about hard work, being studious and all that kind of stuff. I think he's exhausted. I think he's bored with the job.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's bored with the job and the amount of work. And it's just like, inwardly, I'm sure, and probably mentioning to Carrie is probably like, you know what, I really don't want to do this anymore. And he's just had a second kid, by the way, another one. So I think this is child number 11, as far as I'm aware. So he's also busy probably
for an even dozen, huh? Or is he shooting for an even dozen or a baker's dozen?
Yeah, right.
I mean, honestly, I think after this he could have a career working on stud farms. I think we should hire him on stud farms. Very fertile man. I'll give him that. That's all he's got. So if we look here, the outcome, there is internal fighting and turmoil and stuff like that. We know when this card, whichever way you turn it, pretty much means the same thing, conflict. But this is also much muttering is going on behind the scenes.
Yes.
Much discussion. There is a cat pigeons because this is on top as well of Peppa Pig. Yeah, the Peppa Pig speech. So Boris is not looking good. He was shuffling his papers, talking about Peppa Pig. Now the extra stuff's come out about Wallpapergate. Now we've got the thing with the party and his party behind him. They're talking about rebellion and open defiance now. So there you are. That's my sixpence. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, his star, as far as his stars are concerned, he's been doing a lot of gaslighting. Okay. A lot of gaslighting. And this is coming to light now. It's showing what he is. I also have, like you did, time for retreat. The Four of Swords, retreat time, because the challenge is so much up in the air of drama and things that he's done that are now being shown. The strength card has been reversed. He's lost whatever strength he had. Underneath of it all, we have, as far as his future is concerned, he's done an abuse of power, and more stinky fish is going to come out.
Stinky fish. Wow.
Yes. Seems pretty clear. Yeah.
What do you have for us, Lena? And we've got over 700 people with us now, by the way. So
that's staggering. Everyone. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I got similar to you, Hoga, that he wants to go. It's different from someone who's clinging on by their fingernails. Yeah. See, he's leaving the sinking boat. He would like, this is his fantasy that keeps him going each day, is how can I get out?
Yeah.
They also, meaning his party, want him gone of the Chariot. But this is the chess game, the multiple chess game. It's a problem for them, whatever he does, goes, stays, anything. Right? They have this problem because I think all these chessboards represent different facets of his role and the UK's role, even internationally. How do they keep all this going? He's in La La Land.
Wow.
Right? He's absolutely in La La Land, just go, oh, well, But the final card here is, this is a figure being frisked. Gradually, as Wallpapergate and other things come on stream, he's going to be exposed for what he has done.
Yeah, for what he's done. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Those are great cards.
Great cards.
They're mad.
I love the multiple chess things going.
Yes, not just a chess game, which would have said something. It's like keeping all the chess games going. But they want him gone. He wants to go, but that's a problem because, like Australia, we've had a lot of what we call leadership spills, where the party changes its own leader and people don't like it.
Right.
They're going to give him a one-way map.
Yeah, right.
Because
if they're to Cuba.
Indeed. And if there is one thing, not that I would necessarily defend the Tory party, but they are ruthless when it comes to a leader that is not working.
Yeah,
when you are walking down the halls, you can hear knives being sharpened. They are not afraid to get rid. And he
Yep.
really is in danger, because his obviously all democracies are imperfect. However, what is interesting with the UK Parliament is that you literally can physically see your MP. Now that comes with risks. You know, one of their best actually was actually stabbed to death a few weeks ago. Just so you know, guys, for those of you that are not in the UK, so this is a genuine risk that they face. So they know that if they don't deliver, they've got a lot of new voters as well who voted from the north, who are Labour their whole lives, who are feeling like they've also been kind of done over because HS2, which is this high-speed rail and all that stuff, the promises have been broken. So there's a lot of tumult, kind of as the cards are showing. So he is, you know, he's in trouble.
Yeah, I think he's on borrowed time.
Yeah, he's on borrowed time. Okay, anything else to add before we move to the next question?
But it seems like we're all pretty in sync. The readings are just nice flow.
Very much so. Very, very much so. Okay, we'll move on to the next question, but I'll do a quick few more readouts. So we've got Catherine Chittick, everyone saying hello, Dawn K, Holly Deshane, Trish. That's quite an interesting one. Jean Rogers, Connie Brown, and Justin's mom, who is saying hi to us all. Right. Okay, let's continue. So next question. So, do you know what? I've got a funny one, but I think I'll leave that for later, because we are going through the, you know, dredging up the dirt right now. So let's see, what will be the next question? Do you know what? Let's look at the tornado, these devastating tornadoes that have literally ripped through the American Midwest. And as much as we know that there are still many people who deny climate change and stuff like that, we all know it's a real thing. And it's just huge commiserations to everyone, the families, the livelihoods, everything, because this tornado just looked terrifying. And the way it is, so they're essentially saying there may have been up to 30 tornadoes. They touched ground and they stayed on the ground, and they traveled for hundreds of miles. They said one tornado may have traveled for 200 miles. This is unprecedented, and they said they're not used to getting this kind of stuff in December either. I don't know if you saw old Jeff Bezos got a bit of a face slap because one of his Amazon storehouses torn to shreds. But unfortunately, a lot of people are missing. So commiserations to all of those kind of suffering. And this, of course, is clear evidence of global warming. I think there will be fewer and fewer deniers going forward, because when you lose everything like this, you can only draw one conclusion. So what I wanted to ask is what's the weather future looking like for America in particular? And I just wanted to see, or wondered what kind of cards we would pull. So what's the weather future like for America in particular? Because if we get tornadoes and weather events like this happening regularly every year, I don't think that's really sustainable, is it?
Someone says here it was a new record. A tornado was on the ground for 4 hours. And imagine that ferocity thing for 4 hours. Normally that's one of the things, because I come from, we call them cyclones where I come from. Yeah. Not hurricanes. And so I know what it's like.
Yeah, it's just terrifying, absolutely terrifying. And thank you, Donna Bailey, as well, for your donations, much appreciated. So what's the weather pattern like going forward for America? So I'm just interested to see what cards we all pull on that. That one. All right, so what do I have? Let's have a look. Ooh, very interesting. Okay, all right. Isn't it interesting? Ask the question, what's the weather patterns like going forward for America? And what do I get? I get the Biden card. All of us are pulling this, and we know this, that basically this is Joe Biden. So of course Joe Biden has very quickly got what is it? He's got the states, not FEMA. What is it? Is it FEMA? I can't remember what it is. Is it FEMA, or where you get the state apparatus going for recovering food, water, all that stuff? So Biden actually,
FEMA, I think you mean.
I think it's FEMA. That's it, FEMA. Yeah. So he literally straight away got stuck in with that. But when I look here, the way I interpret this, if we look at this, now this is coming in the obstacle position. And of course, the Two of Wands is about what? Prospecting, looking out. He's holding a globe in his hand. So what I'm wondering is this: could it be that the weather events continue to get so extreme that maybe America needs the world's help? Could it be that we may have to be financial aid to the States or something like that? Because look, this is someone waiting for their ship to come in. But also as well, this could also be the increasing consciousness within the American public of like, maybe we need to look at the world, what's going on in the world, with more attention, pay more close attention to that, because we do not know what may come onto our shores. That's how I interpret that. We look here, vicious battle. Yeah, this could be literally, this could be Mother Nature itself. You know, this is a vicious battle anyway. This is just cutthroat, ruthlessness, viciousness, and vindictiveness. This could be the weather getting increasingly harsh and extreme. These storms were unprecedented. But also as well, this also talks about that internal battle, which I think is going on within the United States and the world, about what to do about this. But things are going to start getting nasty. The options on the table, no one's going to like the options on the table. Yes. Yeah, we're going to have to change, aren't we? Do you remember, Lena, when we were having our show, we were talking about Japan, yeah? And it was like, in terms of their apparent attempts to green up with this blue coal or whatever, they didn't like the options, nor does America, yeah? But things are going to rush forward. Again, for me, it's almost like the weather. Look, this is... Look,
you're not going to believe it.
Oh,
same thing.
Yeah.
See, there you go. And what is this card? It is what? Swords are what? Wind. Yeah. Wind element.
And that knight is galloping into the teeth of the winds.
You see, you can see. So literally, look how the cards are speaking, everyone. And you know, it's Lady G has got the same. So this is literally saying those winds and stuff will increase. I think this is going to become a factor. Lady G, you.
Well, yeah, I did a reading on that this morning as well. And again, the same things, but I pulled it again. We have the phases of the moon and the phases, you know, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking with it. Underneath of it, things are blossoming. You know, this stuff is coming to fruition.
Yeah.
And the thing I got this morning is, you know, you have the thing with the magician, as above, so below. Well, this is as below, so above. So what we're doing down here is affecting the weather.
Of course. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Exactly.
Wow.
What we're doing down here is affecting up there. Okay. And the merchants have to get a clue. They have to start, you know, taking care of the environment. Because our challenge is balance. This stuff is out of balance. It's being juggled. And like you got for your last card, I also got the night, this winds rushing forward, and it was skewed to the negative. So it's going to be negative, more tornadoes, hurricanes, all of that. Underneath of it, this is the wheel. This is what we put into place. Yeah, hello, heartache.
Yeah.
This is what we do. So you need to get it together to go forward, because there are going to be a lot more out in the cold, harsh winters, losses, financial, you know, physical, life losses.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. We need to get it together and get serious about this.
Yeah. Yeah, we really do. We really do. What do you have for us, Lena?
Well, tick, tick, tick. America has to do it differently.
Yeah.
Right. Things have to change. This is the crossroads. What has been happening in the past, the through line, as I call it, the false knight, which in this case, I don't think is one person, one politician, or
it's the collective, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. As a collective.
Yeah.
Reassuring people, happy families, everything's all right. This is a manipulation. Like I think in Lady G's reading, you got it as the desperate need for balance, which is also true.
Yeah.
But the manipulation here with these two manipulative cards, telling people it's all right when it's not all right. And it's not all right because the world has become the devil's playground, if you want to be right bang up against two major arcana cards, right? The Magician, thank you, Lady G. Yes, as above, so below. This is a direct repercussion of the neglect, abuse of literally the earth. And the way forward is dramatic action, quick action, big action, action that matters.
Absolutely. As you were saying that, I was keying on the fracking. They're doing the fracking and this.
Of course, as above, so below. Yeah.
It just hit. It just jumped in when you were doing the
exactly. And we're fracking madly, and it disturbs the whole water table. And I was reading a few days ago, China's biggest issue at the moment is water. It's got a real problem with what it's done to the water table and not having enough water. So it's like even the biggest, most powerful countries in the world at the end of the day are going to be victims of too much water in the terms of flooding, or not enough water and having to get emergency water. We are beings that need water.
Yeah, we can only survive 3 days without water.
Exactly. A long time without food, but only 3 days without water. And that's why when Bezos and the others, not just him, are hooning off into space and wanting to drop their fetid, polluted selves around the stratosphere, they have to be brought to account when they've got this huge amounts of money. On education as much as anything.
Absolutely.
But as we all know, FEMA was on its knees when Katrina hit, and it's only been neglected since. I mean, I think Obama put money into it and stuff, but it's not consistent. The FEMA response is not consistent.
Also,
and one more thing, sorry. Rand Paul, another despicable creature, has been begging Biden today for money for Kentucky, having voted against everything that Biden's ever said or thought. Right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And this is what nature does. This is what humbles us. And I remember I was watching quite a famous coach a while back, who I don't watch anymore, but I always remembered one of the things he said, and he said, nature is the teacher of last resort.
Yes.
She is the last one you want to be getting your lessons from, because this is the way that she does it. It is harsh. And just to give a little, I should have mentioned it at the top of the show, but I forgot, but to give a little bit of an astrological context to this will not surprise you guys, but we are just about, it's almost here, but we're about to enter another Kala Sarpa Yoga. What does that mean? It means time serpent yoga, when all the planets are on one side of the nodes of the moon. So if I get Vishnu here to demonstrate, or let's see if I can get my computer I'll turn my computer this way. Oh, dangerous moving my computer. Do you know what? I'm not going to do it. It's too risky.
Yeah, just tell us.
Last time. So I want you to imagine, so if this stick here, imagine that these are the nodes of the moon, Rahu here, Ketu here, the serpent, they're called the dragon. Now, Kala Sarpa Yoga is when all the planets are on one side, Now, normally you don't count the outer planets in this Kala Sarpa yoga, but this time they are all one side of the yoga as well. Everyone. This will continue until the 24th of, oh my gosh, look, I put here the 24th of 2022, but I left off the month. I think it is March or April. Forgive me. I dropped off the month. The planet that's going to break it is Mercury. But the point is this, the reason why this is important is because when the planets are all one side of the nodes of the moon, it means we are under the auspices of fate. A destiny that is very hard to escape. And Kala Sarpa yogas do tend to be very extreme as well. The moon will periodically break that Kala Sarpa yoga because she moves the fastest, but it almost doesn't count because she does it anyway.
And keeps going back around to that side.
She goes around for a few days, then she comes back.
The phases of the moon, which is what I was getting.
Yeah, which you kept getting, Lady G. Yeah.
Oh, exactly, which is what also as well you got, Lady G, as well. So we are now under the influence of the nodes of the moon, the dragon, the time serpent yoga. So this is a very, very fateful time, everyone, that we're going into. So everyone has to lift up their spirits, do positive things, do the best that we can, lobby people to make the right choices. But it also means things could get a little bit wild, folks. This is a bit of buckle.
It will get hairy, but also people tend to pull together in adversity.
Yeah.
And what I was getting today, again, is what I've said before. Have your documents, your important things packed and get out if you can get out to someplace safer, but have a thing ready that you can take with you with your most important things. Have it ready to go.
That's really good advice. Yeah. You have the cat cage, the family photos, and your basic documents just ready to run.
Right.
Exactly. And one other thing as well, I put here in the little notes here. Remember, we just had that solar eclipse, and I said it would be very dramatic as well for male leaders in particular. Obviously, Boris Johnson is going through a hoo-ha, but the solar eclipse that happened on the 4th of December was also close to the star Antares, which is the star of war. Yeah. Now, what's happened is we were talking about China before, but the Philippines and the Southeast Asia have now kind of complained to flag up that they've been getting these cyber attacks, and they're accusing China of these cyber attacks on their government and military. Also, as well, Putin has got approximately 175,000 troops right on the Ukrainian border right now. And we're going into this Kala Sarpa yoga.
Yeah, not pretty.
Not pretty. So, we will see about that. Okay.
Sorry, just before we move on, Carolyn in the chat has said, please wish her husband Peter a happy retirement. That is an epic moment, Peter.
Brilliant.
And thank you for watching us all. And may you watch many more tarot videos in your retirement.
Indeed. And we are now joined by 793 people. And now indeed, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Now, we're speaking about retirement, which, of course, is a time of maturity. And I didn't know what you were just about to say. So in terms of the next question, I don't want this to be any kind of aspersions or anything on anyone who's just retiring, because now we're going to be talking about Viagra. Honestly, it's the last question. Viagra. So it's quite interesting. Like I said, I'm not saying anything.
Oh, my word. It's got a lot to answer for. Let's put it that way.
It's the next question. There it is. Viagra. Yeah, there it is. Anyway, so apparently, they are experimenting. Early trials are suggesting that Viagra can help with Alzheimer's and dementia. Yeah, which of course is a bigger thing going on. So many people suffering from those conditions and stuff like that. And it does even though obviously it's a very serious topic, but it does kind of give me a funny image in my mind, shall we say, of dementia sufferers all being given Viagra and
I'm struggling to find the biochemical connection, but yes. Okay.
It's to do with dilation of blood vessels.
Oh, of course, silly me.
So it helps with blood circulation to the brain and, of course, other places. And it does give me very interesting images of what will be happening in retirement homes up and down the country. As people are dished out their blue pills. Could resuscitate more than memory. Let's put it that way.
Newly retired Peter, I don't think you would have thought it would have led to this conversation when you got the messages.
Because remember, I don't let the ladies know what the questions are. I just read them out in order, and that was the next one. So happy retirement. I'm sure you don't need blue pills anyway. But what we should do is, what I wanted to read on is, will this become a mainstream treatment? Will this become a mainstream treatment? And we've got
for dementia and what?
Dementia and Alzheimer's.
All right, really important.
Potentially could help out with both. So Patricia is
it
saying,
makes you wonder how they found out this. Who was experimenting in the laboratory? But we'll see.
Indeed. In fact, what it was, they were looking. I've got the answer for you. They were looking at a cohort of people that were suffering from dementia. I think it was like 750,000 people, some huge study.
Big number.
And what they found is those gentlemen that were, shall we say, have a little bit of blue pill assistance, their outcomes in regards to Alzheimer's and dementia were a lot better, actually improved. So there you are. It was an unexpected, the blue bullet, shall we say, could be doing a lot. Anyway, let me pull my cards.
Yes, let's focus. Here we go.
It's just like, this does not present a great image. All these guys walking around with the stiffy and
I know.
Mercy.
It's supposed to work on women as well, Viagra as well. So there won't necessarily be children in retirement homes, but there could be a lot more passion between the games of bridge and chess. Let's just put it that way. Passion could reignite itself. All right, so I've got 5 cards. Let's have a look. And let's see what we've got here. This is quite interesting. Right, all reversed. But, so, straight up. So, there may be some legal issues around it. Maybe it could be, oh, you're joking. Look at that. You see, we're all in sync already. First show, all of us collaborating together, and we're pulling the same cards. So there you go. So the way my card came out reversed, so maybe there might be a bit of haggling legally, and because of course the reputation of Viagra, and some even, you could even have families that may be like, I don't want my father having,
I guess for religious reasons or something
like that. So there could be some legal challenges here, but also as well, will it get the funding? Yeah, will it get the funding? Will it get the money? Viagra. Oh, stop it. Oh my goodness. Guys, you see?
Sorry to interrupt, but I couldn't help it.
I mean, extraordinary. See, this is a special show. Honestly, even if this is a special show. So next card I get, here we are. We've got, people might be worried that too much passion and liaisons may be going on. But really, this is about partnership. This is about partnership, teamwork, collaboration. Will it be a little bit too controversial? We'll have to see. But if it works, it works. I think it's worth a little bit of excitement, extra excitement, if it actually works. Here we are. Things need to be taken from a different perspective. They really do. So I think this is looking at things from a different perspective, taking these sort of like sexual element out of it and actually just looking at it as a treatment, as a way to get out of something that's just very difficult. Because as we know, I mean, this card, as we know, it's the Hangman. When is the right way up? This is choosing, reflection. But this is to get people, it's about dementia and Alzheimer's, potentially getting them out of a stuck situation. It has to be worth it, doesn't it? But there could be a little bit of a battle from the hilltop to kind of get it through, because again, it's, we were chuckling and having a laugh. You can't help but laugh when it comes to the blue bullet, isn't it? With Viagra and stuff like that. But they need to defend their position. And I think it's worth fighting for, but I don't think it's going to be automatically taken on. There we are. ADG.
Yeah, well, what I get is some gaslighting with it, over talking it about being in the homes, etc. Although the guys might be a little happier with it. But they're looking at long-term solutions, benefits of it, going into it, the challenges, of course, what's going to happen in these elderly homes if these guys are walking around with a stiffy,
That's the card I got, though, wasn't it? I got that as well.
Yeah, as well. And so that might take some of the strength out of the argument. Because underneath of it, what I got is, they're trying to talk this up as a new energetic thing. There are those that are going to try to put the kibosh on it. Some of those that are not happy with it, and they're going to cause conflict. Okay. Yeah. They're just saying, I don't want my dad out there chasing all the women.
People might be too prudish.
Yeah, there's. So what I got too is the Star followed by the Ace of Pentacles. So this is suggesting to me that it does have the potential to do this thing.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And do it quite well. But there'll be fights over the money. This money to be made.
Yeah.
And this could be a problem. The other problem, I got the Devil, I have to say. Now, this could be, my first thought was this could be adverse side effects, because perhaps you're not meant to have Viagra in the form and the dosage as often as it needs to get the result.
Yeah, because there is that problem.
The body in other ways.
Exactly.
Right?
There is a problem if it lasts too long, they have to go to a hospital.
Oh,
right. Stuff like that, right? So
yes.
It technically has all this promise, but I think there's quite a bit of work to do first.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there will definitely be legal issues here around it.
Also, as well, the Devil can, one of the positive interpretations of the Devil, though, can also mean as well sexual passion and desire.
Well, indeed, that is out of control, one would suggest, to some extent.
Yeah.
But also, see, the problem is it's similar in a way. Pharmaceutical heroin should have a role. It's actually the most effective treatment of deep cancer pain. Now, if you've been around someone who's had particular types of cancer, some are painless until that's why you don't know you've got it. Others, there's this terrible racking cancer pain. And in the movies, people just get shot up with a bit of morphine, and no matter what, that isn't what it's like in real life. And it's very hard for them to get on top of cancer pain to the point where often that can be what actually takes the person out. Their organs, you need so much morphine to get on top of it that's what takes you out. Whereas heroin, pure heroin, doesn't have that. It's very effective. It can be monitored much, but because it's got such a bad reputation, it's not used. So it's
same
like
here.
that.
Yeah. Same here. Wow. Fascinating. Well, look at that. The time has absolutely ripped through. We'd like to keep the show. Can you believe it? It's an hour gone. So we want to say thank you so much for everyone for joining us. I mean, we topped out I think we topped out just over 800 or just a fraction under.
Brilliant.
Thank you for the donations, everyone. And we had Christina Tanky, Nora's face, Donna Donatelli, and so many of you that joined us tonight. Oh, look, now it says 800. Perfectly. There we are.
Yay.
Go out with that. Lena, it was an absolute joy and pleasure to have you here. And of course, stay on for the post chat. We would love to have you back. So let's discuss about that as well, particularly as well as Diane is probably going to be recovering for a little while. And again, shout out to Diane and a speedy recovery. Thank you, Lady G, of course, for your contribution, and everyone for joining us today. I think it was a great show. I think we covered a lot of important topics. We also ended, didn't we, on a bit of on a lighter note. And let's have one message from Dog to see what it was. Oh, this one keeps coming up. This Speak Up. I got this last week. It keeps saying that. So speak up in terms of everything really that's going on, things that we see. If we see injustice or cruelty or anything like that,
speak up.
Yeah, we all need to use our voices because we're in Kala Sapa time, folks. Not long. 18th of December is when it officially begins. But love and light. Everyone, keep that energy high.
I've been getting that often as well this week. Speak up. Don't hide your light under a bushel. Stand up. Speak up. Be who you are.
Your voice is important.
Exactly.
Absolutely is. So we're going to pop off now. So see you all soon. Thank you and bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Take care.